In this video, I challenge myself to beat Terraria, but everything is randomized. Everything as in the crafting recipe, the NPC shop, enemy drops, the chest loot, even the damage and effect of every weapon, and also the defense of armor. Anyway, enjoy the video. For this challenge, I created a new world with random seed and also random evil biome. So as soon as I open my world, what's that? Well, I also randomize the world generation. And you can already see my copper sword does 95 damage and has 96% crit rate. And it shoots of all things a cluster rocket, which is really overpowered. Then I tried to chop off some trees, which with this mod get chopped off immediately. Then I killed a blue slime, which dropped off a workbench, which is going to be really useful because the crafting recipe are randomized. Then I went inside this really cool looking living tree where I found a living loom and some loot in the chest. Then I crafted a lightning boots with cobweb, and I also crafted torch flask. Then I mined using copper sword and found an underground cabin. And in the chest I had found ball's cape and a boot. Then I crafted the orichalcum headgear, which had 72 defense. Anyway, I went home to play some chess and my crafting session. With that, I am able to craft various items. So I crafted a destroyer emblem and also a crystal storm, which turned out to be a grenade launcher. Then I crafted crimson gear, which had 61 defense. With this, I have more defense than every armor in the game. Then I crafted a golden shower and a lot of danger sensing potion. And it turns out the golden shower summons 2 spider sentry, which is really useful. Then I obtained a bee mount. Now I can fly everywhere. Then I found an octopod, which throws presents. And there is our first death. I wonder how many times I will die in this playthrough. Then I killed a zombie to obtain King Slime's treasure bag, which had ninja sword with 162 defense. Now I don't even know if the enemies can kill me. Then I obtained a sharktooth necklace and a corruption key, which is kinda useless. Then I found... is that a cactus? What the heck is up with this world? Anyway, I finally obtained some torches and also opened the chest to find a clinger staff. In the next chest, I found a boring bow. I don't think this item should exist. Then I found a demon scythe, mandible, tempest staff, and turns out this yo-yo is actually daybreak, but worse. And this hellfire shoots out water bomb. And this mandible is starlight but bad. And this tempest staff summons flying shark. This is already confusing. Anyway, the demon scythe killed me. Yep, it definitely kills me. At least the clinger staff is kind of cool. Kind of like Dragon Ball Z attack. And why is the shuriken shooting rainbow? At least I have a better mount now. And yes, the shark kite won't do any damage to the enemy. Anyway, after a prismatic glass wing, then I went into the corruption, which is made up of ice. Then I destroyed 3 shadow orbs to spawn the Eater of World. But would you look at that? I can't fight Eater of World because this is not the corruption biome. Well, at least I obtained some items. Just a few. Then I obtained Ankh Shield, 2 boss summons, which I can't use yet, Solar Flare pickaxe, and yeah, I died testing a weapon. And the rocket launcher actually works as a rocket launcher, which is kind of surprising. Then I crafted a Bodex booster, which obviously suits rainbow. Then I started to build houses for NPC, because I would need the NPC to buy a lot of different things, as the NPC shops are completely randomized. Anyway, did you know that if you craft a toilet, you can use it as a chair to build houses for NPC, which is kind of weird. Anyway, I completed my NPC housing. Then I sold some items to the NPC and realized that I was broke. Then I purchased a cheap weapon which killed me, and I accidentally killed myself again. Then I bought a machete, which is a sticky grenade launcher, and also a tome of wisdom, which kills me. Then I mined underground and found some life crystal. Okay, how does this even work? Another life crystal. Then I obtained more loot. Then I reached hell and collected hell force. Then I realized that I wasn't throwing grenade with my crystal storm, but instead I was throwing dry rockets. Then I obtained angel wings. After that, I sold many items and purchased a cool whip, forbidden rope, and a rainbow cursor. Then I also purchased a cell phone. After that, I reopened the shop multiple times and finally bought a bundle of balloons and souls of night, which I realized that after closing the shop that they were useless, as the recipe are randomized. Then I used the cool whip just to be exploded. So I fixed my base and teleported to the ocean, just to die, because my dumb brain used the crystal storm accidentally. So I went back and collected some loot and sold most of them. And yeah, I also obtained a mithril anvil, which means I can craft more overpowered items. Then I used a bat to summon a destroyer pet. What? But it seems I got really lucky with poison stab with its amazing attack. And the whip works as a spear. And also every millisecond, my weapon's rate changes. So I don't even know how much attack I will do with some weapons. Then I placed on the mithril anvil and crafted the tendon bow. Then I went to the other ocean to collect some more loot from the chest. After that, I sold all the items and tried to use a sword, which of course killed me. Why is that every weapon I use kills me? Then I purchased a lot of different items like Resonance Scepter, Nebula Arcanum, more Celestial Sizzle, True Excalibur, Gelatin Crystal, Munamasa, a Desert Useless Key, Life Fruits for when I eventually max out my health, and other various stuff. Then I transformed all the NPC with Simmer Bucket, Then I accidentally poured it on myself and fell underground, where my dumb brain thought that it would be a nice idea to use the weapon. So I died and lost all the money I had. Then I tested out all the weapons I had obtained. That's a flamethrower, that's straight up a flying skull, that's just a floating laser, that's phantasm dragon pet. I wondered what this does. Yup, it kills me. What the heck is that? Is this even Terraria? I've never seen that attack. That's kinda cool. Why is there a random Stardust Dragon's head flying? Yup. That's kinda cool. Anyway, I summoned the Queen Slime, so I tried to kill her normally, but I summoned a lot of Hydras and eventually defeated her. The Hydras are really overpowered. And then summoned more Hydras to defeat her. And yeah, it was really easy seeing her getting destroyed. Then I collected the items and found my favorite pet, which summons a cat. And also found Monk's Pant, which has, 276 defense. Anyway, I summoned the Queen Slime once again and beat her once again. Then I went to collect my coins, which I had dropped by dying. Then I purchased some items and proceeded to kill myself while testing them. Then I purchased Terraspark boot. That's a really cool sound effect for a sword. Then I purchased the Zenith, which is actually one of the worst weapons in the game. Then I died again, purchased Fish on treasure bag and used one of its weapons to die once again. Then I purchased Nebula wings and wasn't really able to buy anything I needed after that, so I finally went into hell and tried to kill a voodoo demon. But it is here I realized that the voodoo demons won't drop voodoo doll, so I'm kind of screwed. But don't worry, I got an idea. I'm going to build a house. It doesn't work. Okay. Then I tried once again in a different area. It doesn't work again. So how am I supposed to even progress in this game now? Anyway, I finally decided to clear the graveyard that I have built by dying. That is kind of a cool weapon. Then to progress in this game, I decided to dig the guide straight to hell to fall in lava from the surface, because I can't think of another idea of how to summon the wall of flesh. Then I collected some items here and there, then I finally dropped the guide straight into lava. So the wall of flesh spawned. And yeah, with the power of stars and magical spear, I was easily able to beat the wall of flesh. Then I obtained some items which I obviously shouldn't have used. Then I went home to do the goblin invasion event. I said I would do the goblin invasion, but I just stand there for some time and let the Hydra kill the enemy. Then after some seconds, I collected the items dropped by enemies and delete what is not useful to me, which means I don't really have to do the goblin invasion event. I should probably stop using new weapons already. And with that, the goblin invasion event is finally over. Then I purchased the grill containment unit and reopened the shop multiple times. Then I bought vampire knives. Is this even an effect from Terraria? Then I collected bloody tear and used it at night. Then I purchased a celestial board, and after that I finally summoned the twins, which will be the first mech boss that I'll fight. And my Hydra enemy does really good damage, only when they hit, that is. But I was still hitting the twins with random weapons, which somehow is working, and that's one eye down. And finally, with the help of Hydras, I was able to beat the twins. Then I summoned a lot of Hydras to farm for enemies. And when I was collecting the items, I had found a skeleton prime summoned. So I immediately summoned him and began the fight. So I summoned my army of Hydra and I was easily doing 4000 damage per second, which is really good for now. Anyway, the skeleton prime wasn't even able to deal any damage to me, and I won. Then I went to collect the drops on Blood Moon enemies, and I got really lucky to have found a mechanical worm. So I summoned the destroyer, and the fight wasn't really much because my star had piercing on them, which dealt a lot of damage. And even my spear has piercing damage, and with that the destroyer is defeated. And this was the first time I was able to defeat all 3 mech bosses in one night, which prior to this I have never done. Then I went to the jungle side. I think this is the jungle biome, I don't know. And you might not believe it, but this is the jungle temple. Yup, fully made of rope. And what the heck is that? Why are there traps still flying? Anyway, I found the altar, then I collected some life crystal boulder and placed them and destroyed them to obtain life crystal, which I used to increase my health to max. Then I used the life fruit as well to increase my health max to 500. Then I found the wizard and goblin tinkerer underground, and it is here I realized that I had done the worst mistake I could have done, because I reforged all the weapons I was using. And it turns out reforging the weapon will also change the weapon effect. No wonder same weapons were doing different attack before. Anyway, I sold some items and reforged in hopes to get better weapons, but it was unsuccessful. Anyway, I angrily started to destroy random things, which summoned the Plantera, which I shouldn't have done, but I wasn't really taking any damage at all, so I used the explosive staff, whipped staff, to deal damage to the Plantera. And honestly, I could just stay in one place to attack because the Plantera isn't doing any damage at all. But with that, the fight is finally over. So I immediately summoned the golem, which if you could guess, I decimated the golem. And of course, I took no damage as my defense was already unbreakable. Then I went to the dungeon, but I hadn't even defeated the skeleton. So I summoned the skeleton, and surprisingly, it took more hits than the destroyer. So I defeated the skeleton. And guess this should be my main weapon, since I accidentally destroyed my weapons by reforging them. And that is another reason for me to hit the tinkerer. Then I refreshed the shop to see if I could buy anything useful, but nothing was useful. Now with the cultist. So I used my Vortex Blaster to blast the cultist, then I used some explosive fire to burn him, and I smashed him with a lot of skull. But still turns out, Aerial Bane is one of the most powerful weapons in the game, and with that, I defeated the cultist. So I headed to the pillar closest to me, the solar pillar. But the pillars were kind of boring, probably because I have reached to a point where I barely take any damage. Even though each 100 enemy I defeat in every pillar drops different item, I just didn't find any use for most of them, because I'm more than enough overpowered. And it is also not guaranteed that if I find a new weapon and use it, it won't kill me. So yeah, I defeated all the pillars quite easily as I had 500 defense, which is crazy. Finally, I went home and waited a bit for the Moonlord to spawn and proceeded to defeat him with Aerial Bane. And yeah, dodging was made quite easy with the help of Witch's Broom, and my attacks were also doing quite solid damage with Aerial Bane. And that's one eye down, and that's the top eye down as well. Then I attacked the final eye and destroyed it, which meant the heart was open. But still, the attack of Moonlord is only able to leave a small scratch in my health because I have 500 defense, which is kind of crazy. And yeah, I finally defeated the Moonlord. This challenge was really fun to do as it completely changed my gaming experience, and if you want to play this mod, then here it is. Anyway, thanks for watching and subscribe for more.